We're working through the buttonholes on the Pfaff Creative 3.0 sewing machine. So we've talked about how to get everything set up, and next we're going to do a corded buttonhole. So to see what we've done so far, you can click on this little link right up here in this top corner and see how we did our standard buttonholes. You have a whole group of buttonholes to pick from. The regular size is actually number 2. Now, what is a corded buttonhole? A corded buttonhole allows us to stitch over a cord. It makes the buttonhole more stable, so great for fabric that is stretchy or even has a high loft. Even wools or fleeces might really do best if they had a cord in there. So it's almost like stabilizing your buttonhole. So I'm going to actually take the buttonhole foot off for just a second, show you what we're doing. As we take a cord, and this isn't a really thick cord, but you will want to make sure that you have enough that it that it is thick enough to stabilize, but not too thick. You are going to find that you're going to take the cord, fold it in half, and hook it around the little point of the back of the foot. That's why it's there. Then you're going to bring it up the front of the foot, and it will hold it in place. And as you can see by where the cord is sitting, the zigzag of the buttonhole will go right over each cord, allowing us to pull it through and tighten it up when we're done. Sometimes I'll put this on before I put my foot on, or I'll put the foot on, then load the cord in. So if this stays, I'll just go ahead and use it. But most of the time I usually put the foot on, get it all plugged in, and then put the cord on now. So I'll kind of hook it around and then bring it up the front. But so far this cord is holding in place nicely. Make sure when you plug in the buttonhole foot, you go ahead and get a full push up into that area. Pick the length of buttonhole that you want it to be. If you have a button, remember you can measure it right up over here on the measuring tool and then dial in the exact length that you want. Let's just use the default stitch length of 16 millimeters. And remember, this buttonhole will stitch away from us when we start. So it starts here and then stitches away. Move the buttonhole red mark into that little divot, and that means everything's all set. And then I'm just going to make sure my cord is where it needs to be. Lower down the presser foot. That kind of holds everything in place. Once you're ready to start, you can step on the foot control or even use the start-stop button. I'm just holding on to this little thread tail just to make sure it stays out of the way. I can stop and cut it if I want. So you're seeing that the stitching is going right over the cord that's on the left side, and then it'll stitch up the side, and then it'll encase the cord that's on the right. All right, so I love the way, and actually these always look so much sharper than just a flat buttonhole. I don't know why I don't do these more often. Does the tack, does the lock, and the program cut is all involved here. So I love how this is going to look. So let's show you the last step. So when you pull it out, just unhook all the layers. I am going to cut this so it's out of our sight here. Now what you can do is get a hold of the cord, and if it hasn't stitched through the cord, you'll be able to actually pull it, make it hide kind of down at the top there, kind of flatten it out, and then you can cut these really close and then just make those just disappear. There we go. Into the end. And look how full and solid that buttonhole looks just by adding the cord while you stitch your buttonholes.